Hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss quiz on the Indian Constitution. So I hope you are aware that every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. We come up with this class where we generally discuss general knowledge, current affairs related things. So in today's class, I have decided to have a quiz on the Indian Constitution because you should be knowing a basic idea, the broad idea about the Indian Constitution, which is of course a part of the static GK portion. Like in ZAT examination, these types of things are asked. Then of course, if you are attempting any CUET type exam or TISNET, like CMAT exam. So in these things, of course, you should be knowing about the basic Indian Constitution and polity. So that is why today I have actually decided to discuss a quiz for that. So what you are supposed to do is I'll be giving you questions and you have to just answer it in the live chat. So am I audible, visible? Is my voice reaching? So if my voice is reaching, if everything is fine, please write yes in the comments so that we can begin with the class. Meri awaaz aa rahi hai? I will speak in both the languages, English as well as in Hindi, so that it would be easy for both of you. So it is 8:30. Let us begin. So let us begin with the first question. So the first question says, originally, Indian Constitution had how many parts? Originally means when it fully came into force on 26 January 1950. So 26 January 1950 को जब वो fully enforce हुआ Indian Constitution, उस वक्त कितने parts थे? And if you tell me how many articles were there and how many schedules were there, I'll be more happy. ठीक है, आपको ये बताना है जब ओरिजिनली इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना था तो कितने पार्ट्स थे, कितने आर्टिकल्स थी और कितने शेड्यूल्स थे. एंड इफ यू टेल मी टुडे हाउ मेनी पार्ट्स आर देयर, how many articles are there and how many schedules, I'll be very happy. If anyone is watching and he or she knows it, please answer me. बताइए. I'm waiting for the response. So originally 22 parts were there and now we are having 25 parts. Now, okay. Similarly, 395 articles were there. Now we are having almost 442 articles. Okay. So 395 articles originally. And there were 8 schedules. Now we are having 12 schedules, 25 parts, and somewhere around, I think, 448 Caspers articles. So you can see it here. Anna. So, Anna. 395 articles, 222 parts and 8 schedules. Now we are having total 12 schedules, 25 parts and around 448 articles. So ये सब एक rough idea आपको होना चाहिए. Now let's move on to the next one. Now we are having 25 parts, but some of the initial parts like part 1, 2, 3, 4, 4A, इतना शुरू का 3, 4, 5 पता होना चाहिए at least. ठीक है. So the famous parts you should be knowing. Rough idea होना चाहिए, बहुत detail नहीं जाना है. That if I am saying part 1 of the Indian Constitution, it talks about what? Citizenship, union and its territories, panchayats, municipalities. What is the right answer? क्या सही जवाब है? So the part 1 deals with union and its territories. B is the right answer to this question. So with this part, if you read about it in detail, so article 1 to 4 actually deals with that and all. So इसमें क्या है? This talks about the union and its territories, means the central government, the state government and union territories. Okay, so when you read part 1 along with schedule 1 of the Indian Constitution, you get to know that there are how many states and how many union territories. Please tell me, ये बहुत famous question है. Currently, India is having how many states and how many union territories? कोई बता सकता है? अभी आज के दिन इंडिया के पास कितने states और कितने union territory? Please tell me. How many states and how many union territory currently India have? So 28 states plus 8 union territory. ये बहुत सारे एग्जाम में पूछा गया है. I have seen in many exams this question being asked. हो सकता है किसी को इंटरव्यू का पूछ दे. So the right answer is there are 28 states and 8 union territories. So B is the right answer. ठीक है, याद रखिएगा. The next is देखो ये वाली कंट्रोवर्सी एक्चुअली हुई थी 1-1.5 साल पहले, बट इट वाज वेरी मच इन द न्यूज़, दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव डिसाइडेड टू आस्क इंडिया दैट इज भारत शैल बी यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. सो देयर वर कंट्रोवर्सीज रिगार्डिंग इंडिया एंड भारत. सो बेसिकली, और उस टाइम पर ये आर्टिकल काफी न्यूज़ में था. This article was very much in the news that India that is Bharat shall be union of states. So basically you have to tell me that this line is mentioned where? Anyone? The right answer is the first article. Actually, the first article of the Indian Constitution, the first line says India that is Bharat shall be union of states. Okay. So basically, India is Bharat. It is clearly mentioned in the Constitution. चलो एक दो चीज मैं पूछता हूँ. The word India was given by, like, we have borrowed the term from where? So like we have said that Bharat is a word which is an Indian word, and we have taken it from Mahabharat, or Bharat clan was there and all. Okay, so this is a word from Indian origin. This word Bharat. But can you please tell me, the word India has originated, like we have borrowed the, or from where? Or who had given this? Like British, Greek, French, Italian, Arabs. किन लोगों ने India word दिया था originally? Anyone? So I'll tell you, there was a very famous Greek ambassador. There was a very famous Greek ambassador sent by Seleucus Nicator, है ना? आपने नाम सुना होगा. Who was a successor of Alexander the Great. So sent in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Even नाम आपने सुना होगा. I'm sure you must have heard his name. Chandragupta Maurya, and his capital was in Patliputra, which is today called as Patna in Bihar. So the name of the ambassador that was sent by Seleucus Nicator is Megasthenes. And he was a Greek ambassador, and he wrote a book called as Indica, from where the word India is derived. Okay. So Greeks have used this word India, Indus, India. So Indus word we वही से आया, Indus River and all. So in India we call it as Sindhu River, which is actually mentioned in Rig Veda and other religious scriptures. So Sindhu River mentioned it, but वो लोग Indus या India कहते हैं. Indus River and India. So that is what you should be knowing. So A is the right answer to this question. खैर, मैं इसलिए बता दिया कि at that time it was in the news. The next is part 2 of the Indian Constitution deals with what? Fundamental rights, citizenship, TPSP, cooperative societies. What is the right answer? So part 1 deals, part 2 actually deals with the citizenship. So B is the right answer. Just have an idea. So these are the laws regarding citizenship and all. Now this one is very important. Part 3 is very, very important. So part 3 of the Indian Constitution deals with what? Fundamental rights, the union, directive principle. This is DPSP, directive principle of state policy. Or cooperative societies. What is the right answer? So the right answer is option A. Fundamental rights है part 3 में, बहुत important है. Fundamental rights are very, very important. ठीक है. So article 12 से 35 talks about fundamental rights, part 3 of the Indian Constitution. ठीक है. और that is what you should know, because fundamental rights से अक्सर क्वेश्चन आते हैं. हो सकता है इंटरव्यू में पूछ दे आपसे. मान लीजिए जैसे fundamental rights कई बार न्यूज वगैरह में रहता है. So a lot of times fundamental rights remains in the news. Maybe even in the interview they can ask. ठीक है. So these are the 6 fundamental rights. I hope you are aware of that. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right cultural educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. अच्छा, एक question है, out of all these fundamental rights, which of them was called as heart and soul of the Indian Constitution? ये पूछा है कई बार, heart and soul of the Indian Constitution. This was used by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. By this was used by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar for which article of the Constitution? कौन से आर्टिकल के लिए? Right answer is article 32 से related, which is actually without which the entire fundamental right is nothing. Okay, so article 32 power ये देता है कि if your fundamental right is violated, you can directly go to the Supreme Court under article 32. So this is how your fundamental right is protected, and that is why Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar had called article 32 as heart and soul of the Indian Constitution. अगर आपने कभी न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ा होगा, I'm sure you must have read this word called as writ, or writ petition, and that flows from article 32. The next is part 4 of the Indian Constitution deals with what? Fundamental duties, the union, DPSP, the cooperative societies. Part 4 क्या चीज से डील करता है? The right answer is this is DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policy. This you should be knowing. These are the advices, list of the advices, recommendations given by the Constituent Assembly to the future governments. Okay. The next is part 4A. देखो 4A, this was not originally present, later on added, but part 4A क्या चीज से डील करता है? Fundamental duties, the union, the states, cooperative societies. मैंने बोला लेकिन कुछ famous parts याद होने, सारे part याद होने चाहिए, but these are prominent ones. That is why I'm telling you fundamental duties. Duty की बात हो रहा है. These are the duties that a citizen should perform. So A is the right answer to this question. ठीक है? So that is what you should know. है ना? Fundamental duties. So these are the duties. So that is what you should know. They say to abide by the Constitution, respect ideals, national flag, national anthem, है ना? To protect sovereignty, unity, integrity of India, and the national service, promote harmony and rich composite heritage, forest lakes, scientific temper, safeguard public property, है ना? Etc. That is what you should be knowing. The next is part 9. You can skip. Now let us talk about 42nd Amendment. This is actually considered as ये भी पूछा था कई बार एग्जाम में कि which amendment is called as mini constitution. Which amendment is called as mini constitution? So the answer is 42nd Amendment. Okay. Because it changed a lot of things. This was actually happened when I hope you are aware 1975 to 1977 we have seen national emergency imposed during Indira Gandhi times. So when Miss Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Okay, उस time पर 42nd Amendment लाया गया था and it changed a lot of things in the Constitution and that is why it is called as mini constitution. तो आपको ये बताना है कि कौन से keywords add किए गए थे preamble में by this amendment. How many words were added? 3, 5, 2 or 4? How many keywords were added in the preamble by 42nd Amendment? If you know it, please write me in the live chat. 3, 5, 2, 4. I'm waiting for the response. मैं इंतजार कर रहा हूं अगर कोई लिखे. Yes, the right answer is 3. So 3 words were added. A is the right answer to this question. Now the question is which were the 3 words? So which of the following is not? देखो जब भी not रहे, whenever there is not in the question, be careful, है ना? Because if you will not read not, then of course the entire answer will be wrong. Which of the following is not the word added in the preamble by 42nd Amendment 1976? Socialist, sovereign, secular, integrity. बताइए. So basically sovereign word was originally present. ये पहले से मौजूद था. ठीक है, इसको नहीं ऐड किया गया. So rest 3 words, that is socialist, secular and integrity, were added later on by the 42nd Amendment. तो मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ. I'll show you. So the left one is actually the original preamble. Original means which was present on 26 January or 26 January 1950. It was fully enforced. हालांकि the right one is the new one. New one means the things that after being added by 42nd Amendment, 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. The right one. अब गौर से देखो, यहाँ पे लिखा है Sovereign Democratic Republic. यहाँ पे लिखा है Sovereign Socialist Secular Democratic Republic. देख रहे हो? So there were 2 new words. One is socialist and secular यहाँ पर. ठीक है? So these are the 2 new words added by 42nd Amendment. फिर नीचे पढ़ोगे. So read it. It says dignity of the individual and unity of the nation. है ना? Unity of the nation लिखा है. बट अगर आप यहाँ पे पढ़ोगे तो लिखा हुआ यूनिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ द नेशन. सो एंड इंटीग्रिटी इज द न्यू वर्ड. So socialist, secular, and integrity. So these are the three new words that were added by 42nd Amendment. Is it clear? ये सब अभी भी न्यूज में रहता है. कई बार किसी ने petition फाइल किया था. Someone had filed petition in the court that these words should be removed, etc. So that is why it comes in the news. तो preamble से related ये सब खबरें न्यूज में आती है. And that is why I'm asking it. Now, this is also not very important for you, so we are skipping that. Now, how many fundamental duties were added to the Constitution by 42nd Amendment 1976? I told you that fundamental duties were not originally present. ये शुरुआत से नहीं था. Okay. So this was not originally present, but was added later on by 42nd Amendment. So how many fundamental duties were added? So by 42nd Amendment, 10 fundamental duties were added. And plus one, 11th one was added by 86th Amendment, 2002. So currently we are having 11 amendments. ठीक है? That is what you should be knowing. B is the right answer. ठीक है? तो आप देख सकते हो कि 10 फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज को ऐड किया गया था 42nd अमेंडमेंट के द्वारा, और ये लास्ट वाला 86th अमेंडमेंट के द्वारा ऐड किया गया था. So now currently we are having 11 fundamental duties. ठीक है? This you should be knowing about. So these are the duties of every citizen of India. The next is which article of the Indian Constitution was inserted by 42nd Amendment for fundamental duties? So fundamental duties was not originally present, later on added. तो कौन सा article add किया गया था? Which articles actually talk about that? Those fundamental duties. The right answer is option B. Article 51 capital A is the right answer to this question. ठीक है? So याद रखिएगा. So Article 51 capital A, 42nd Amendment added 10 fundamental duties, and later on one more was added by 86th Amendment. So currently in Article 51 capital A, we are having 11 fundamental duties. B is the right answer. Now another question is fundamental duties को जो add किया गया था, it was added on the recommendation of which committee? Virappa Moidi Committee, Swaran Singh Committee, Santhanam Committee, Leverhulme Committee. What is the right answer? The right answer is option B. Swaran Singh Committee is the right answer. He is the right answer to this question. Okay, so this you should know, and it led to the addition of fundamental duties. So B is the right answer. The next is ये वाला. This is not important for you, so we are skipping that. Now, in 42nd Amendment, 1976, there were some subjects which were in the state list but were transferred to the concurrent list. Which of them was not that? Not पूछा जा रहा है. Education, forest, marriage, protection of wild animals and birds. So the right answer is C. Marriage was already there in concurrent list since beginning. ठीक है? तो 42nd Amendment में क्या किया गया था? There were some list, some points like education, forest, weights and measures, protection of wild animals and birds, administration of justice. So these were all actually in the state list. So where state can only make laws, and state list में only state can make laws, but it was transferred to the concurrent list by 42nd Amendment. Now both Parliament and the state can make laws. ठीक है? So this is what you should be knowing about. So now actually there has been demand by the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin, that concurrent list should be again brought back to the state list. This is what he had demanded. I hope you are aware there were a lot of anti-NEET protest in Tamil Nadu and all. ये काफी news में रहता है. And because concurrent list, so both center and state can make laws. But if it is in state list, only state has power to make laws and all. Okay, the next one is which of the following provisions were added by 42nd amendment? कौन सा part add किया गया था? So this is actually slightly on a higher side, so you should know tribunals related matter, but ये आपके लिए इतना ये नहीं था. Let us talk about this one. So basically, I hope you are aware, 42nd amendment 1976. I have just told you that during Indira Gandhi time, when there was emergency, a lot of changes were brought. Okay. After that, Indira Gandhi lost election in 1977, and in 1978, Janata Party government came to power. So when Janata Party government came to power, they actually reversed a lot of things. बहुत सारी चीज को opposite कर दिया of whatever was done by 42nd amendment. Not everything, but many things that were brought by 42nd amendment were reversed in 44th amendment 1978 by Janata Party government. Okay, so this is what you should be knowing. B is the right answer to this question. ये पता होना चाहिए. अच्छा, इनके बारे में एक और चीज पता होना चाहिए. This is very famous. This amendment also abolished, removed right to property from being a fundamental right. From being a fundamental right. तो ये इसको फंडामेंटल राइट से हटा दिया था, राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी को 44th अमेंडमेंट में. एंड नाउ इट इज एक्चुअली अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट और लीगल राइट, यू कैन से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट. ठीक है, सो बी इज द राइट आंसर, और लीगल राइट कह सकते हो. Okay, the next one is Article 21 catches के related बात करता है because it remains in the news. A lot of judgments of the Supreme Court are based on this Article 21. It is said that this article has been expanded the most by Supreme Court of India. सबसे ज्यादा इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन निकाला गया है. Article 21 which talks about right to life and personal liberty. आपने सुना, I'm sure you must have heard, no person shall be deprived of his right to life and personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. Right to life. Okay, so ये कई बार पूछा था right to life. इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें आती है right to life के अंदर. So D is the right answer to this question. है ना? Expanded the most अगर पूछा जाए, which article of the fundamental right was expanded the most by the Supreme Court? Article 21. मतलब राइट टू लाइफ का बहुत सारा मीनिंग निकाला है सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने. राइट टू लाइफ आल्सो मींस राइट टू प्राइवेसी, राइट टू मैरी योर पर्सन ऑफ योर ओन चॉइस, राइट टू क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट, राइट टू हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट, है ना, राइट टू लिव विद डिग्निटी, राइट टू हैव शेल्टर, मेनी अदर थिंग्स सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज सेड दैट ऑल कम्स अंडर 21, अंडर आर्टिकल 21. सो बहुत सारी ये सब चीजें आर्टिकल 21 के अंदर में आती है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कई सारे जजमेंट्स में. ठीक है, सो राइट टू लाइफ का मतलब बहुत एक्सपैंड किया है. सो द मीनिंग ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट राइट टू लाइफ हैज बीन एक्सपैंडेड द मोस्ट by the Supreme Court. The next is yes. Now let's move on to the next one. Articles which cannot be suspended even during national emergency are Article 20 and 21, 21, 23, 21 and 25. कौन से आर्टिकल को इवन नेशनल इमरजेंसी के टाइम पर भी सस्पेंड नहीं किया जा सकता है? What is the right answer? राइट आंसर इज आर्टिकल 20 एंड 21. ठीक है, सो 44th अमेंडमेंट में ये कॉन्सेप्ट लाया गया था कि ये दोनों अगर नेशनल इमरजेंसी भी लगा है, सो दिस विल रिमेन इन फोर्स, इट कैन नॉट बी सस्पेंडेड. ठीक है, तो दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड नो, है ना. नाउ अब देखो, मैंने बताया, देखो आपको जजमेंट्स नहीं याद रखना, आपको जो याद रखना मैं बता रहा हूँ. आर्टिकल 21 से रिलेटेड जितनी भी चीज आपको पता होना चाहिए कि राइट टू क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट flows from which article? So you should say Article 21 because Article 21 talks about right to life. Okay. So right to life means right to clean environment also. This is what Supreme Court said. Okay. MC Mehta case है, ऐसे judgment आपको नहीं याद रखना है. This is a case that was became prominent after Bhopal gas tragedy. इसके बाद ये काफी famous हुआ था ये वाला judgment. ठीक है. I'm sure you must have heard this unfortunate incident where Bhopal gas tragedy happened and a gas got leaked. ये एग्जाम में पूछते हैं, मैंने देखा डिफरेंट एग्जाम में, methyl isocyanate leakage and all, है ना. There was a plant called as Union Carbide plant and pesticide plant, वहां से gas leak हो गई, many people died and all. So this is an unfortunate incident there. उसके बाद भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, and in various judgments the Supreme Court has said that right to clean environment is a fundamental right under Article 21. ठीक है, बिकॉज अगर आपकी लाइफ का क्या मतलब है, देखो ना, आर्टिकल 21 टॉक्स अबाउट राइट टू लाइफ. सो राइट टू लाइफ यानी आपको अपनी जिंदगी जीने का हक हो. तो जब क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट होगा तभी तो आदमी अच्छे से जी पाएगा, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाई क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. इसमें सब कुछ आता है एक्चुअली. देखो जब जैसे कि आर्टिकल 21 टॉक्स अबाउट राइट टू लाइफ, तो राइट टू लाइफ में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब कहा है कि क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट यानी एयर साफ होनी चाहिए ना. सिर्फ एयर ही नहीं, वाटर भी साफ मिलना चाहिए. एयर, वाटर, ये दोनों बोथ आर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर योर लाइफ, राइट. So clean air is also a fundamental right. Clean water is also a fundamental right. Because if you get a dirty or contaminated water, there is no meaning of life. You will not survive much. ठीक है. Fine. So ये सब कई बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है. Then yes, this is very 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 famous. इसको स्टार मार्क लगा लेना. Right to privacy was declared as fundamental right in 2017 by Supreme Court under Article 21. In which famous case? Why I am saying? Because last year in October, this person died. अक्टूबर या अगस्त में इनकी डेथ हो गई थी. द पर्सन हु वाज द ओरिजिनल प्रैक्टिशनर ऑफ राइट टू प्राइवेसी केस. राइट टू प्राइवेसी, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या कहा कि आर्टिकल 21 टॉक्स अबाउट राइट टू लाइफ, है ना. सो इट सेड दैट राइट टू लाइफ आल्सो मींस राइट टू प्राइवेसी अंडर आर्टिकल 21. बिकॉज विदाउट प्राइवेसी देयर इज नो लाइफ, देयर इज नो डिग्निफाइड लाइफ, है ना. डिग्निफाइड लाइफ, बिना इंसान के प्राइवेसी उसकी इज्जत वाली जिंदगी नहीं है ना. तो ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि प्राइवेसी जो है एक इंसान की फंडामेंटल राइट है. एंड दिस वाज सेड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट इन केएस पुट्टास्वामी केस 2017. इज द राइट आंसर. ओके. नाउ जो केएस पुट्टास्वामी साहब थे ये खुद रिटायर्ड जज थे हाई कोर्ट के. ही वाज अर्लियर अ हाई कोर्ट फॉर्मर जज ऑफ हाई कोर्ट हु वाज द ओरिजिनल पिटिशनर इन द केस ऑफ राइट टू प्राइवेसी. एंड रिसेंटली ही डाइड. ये केएस पुट्टास्वामी साहब की like death हो गई last year August, I think September October में he died. So he was very much in the news and that is why you should be knowing about it. ठीक है. Is the right answer. Let's move on to the next one. हाँ, then another ये भी कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा है. Right to marry a person of your own choice was declared as fundamental right under Article 21. So I've told you right to Article 21 talks about right to life. Okay. So it also means right to life also means right to privacy. Right to life also means right to clean air, clean water, proper health care. Right to life also means right to marry a person of your own choice. This was also declared as fundamental right by Supreme Court in which case? Please tell me. Batao. So it was said in Hadia case 2018. ये भी काफी famous हुआ था. A is the right answer to this question. ठीक है. Article 21 है ना. The next is फिर ये भी काफी famous हुआ था. Right to education was declared as fundamental right under Article 21. ये unification case में हुआ था. देखो इसमें क्या हुआ था कि Supreme Court said कि right to life also means right to education, at least elementary education. यानी कम से कम गवर्नमेंट की इतनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो तो कि बच्चों को 6 to 14 इयर्स के चाइल्ड को एलिमेंट्री बेसिक एजुकेशन दे दे. एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन एटलीस्ट इतना तो है ना. कि इतना हो कि अगर कोई मतलब गरीब घर का ही बच्चा कम से कम उसको पढ़ने गिनने तो आना चाहिए, नोट गिनने आना चाहिए. मान लो बिजनेस चला दे छोटा मोटा, अगर एकदम ही गरीब घर का पूरा नहीं पढ़ सकता तो कम से कम इतना तो उसको पता हो कि थोड़ा बहुत समझ ले, पढ़ना, पैसा जोड़ना, नोट गिनना, इतना तो आना चाहिए. एटलीस्ट द बेसिक एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन पर्सन शुड नो, है ना. So then later on, 86th Amendment, a new article was added by Article 21A. इसमें right to education is actually a fundamental right. So fundamental is 6 to 14 years के लिए, है ना. Elementary basic education, इतना इस दौरान जो basic elementary education है इतना at least government को provide करना है. It is compulsory, है ना. और उसके बाद बाकी तो ऑफ कोर्स बच्चा पढ़ेगा खुद से और उस वक्त भी गवर्नमेंट को सपोर्ट करना चाहिए इवन आफ्टर 14 आल्सो, बट एटलीस्ट 6 to 14 में तो करना ही चाहिए, है ना. दैट इज द आइडिया. फिर राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन को भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फंडामेंटल राइट डिक्लेयर किया अंडर आर्टिकल 19. ठीक है. अब आपने देखा होगा आरटीआई वगैरह, है ना. राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन, आरटीआई एक्ट इज देयर वेयर यू कैन आस्क फ्रॉम एनी गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट. ऑलवेज बी केयरफुल. आप सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट से पूछ सकते हो, नॉट प्राइवेट कंपनी. इंफॉर्मेशन विच आर सपोज्ड टू बी इन पब्लिक डोमेन. तो आपको कुछ पूछना है तो आप लेटर लिख सकते हो पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर को. ठीक है. And you can ask anything about the working of the government department and all. Okay, that is what you should know. फिर तो एक बहुत फेमस है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Why I'm saying? Because this you will see in your entire life. Whether you are doing a job in private company or in government company, once you qualify your MBA, you go to the MBA college. After passing out, when you will get the job in any company, this thing will be helpful. This thing is very important. Right to safe working environment for female is a fundamental right under 21. Because if there is no safe working environment, she will not be able to go there, of course, and her livelihood would be denied. Right to livelihood is also a fundamental right under 21. So right to safe working environment for female was declared by Supreme Court in Vishakha case. Vishakha guidelines was famous as Supreme Court का judgment in Vishakha and others versus state of Rajasthan case. Right to safe working environment for women. उसके बाद एक लॉ लाया गया था, उसको कहते हैं POSH Act. POSH, Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act 2013. Okay, this was passed by the Parliament to implement this judgment. So आप किसी भी कंपनी में जाओगे, whenever you join any company, this thing is told to you कि we are having POSH guidelines. POSH guidelines means कि basically this is actually and POSH guidelines लिखा है, पूरा सब कुछ लिखा रहेगा. So you will be shown कि ये चीजें that you have to behave with your female colleague in this way and this way. This is the right way. This is the wrong way. Do's and don'ts सब mention रहेगा. If the female in any company, whether it's a private company or a government department, feels unsafe or she's not feeling being treated well or something like that, there is a scope or angle of harassment. So she can go to the Internal Complaint Committee. ICC is there. Internal Complaint Committee, especially with organization having more than 10 employees. So where actually Internal Complaint Committee होती है, इसमें जैसे उसी कंपनी के सीनियर लोग रहते हैं जनरली. If there is a company, then there are like CEOs or vice president, director, these are there. But if let's say there is a 7-member committee, so majority should be women. So 4 should be at least women. Okay. So that if a woman is feeling unsafe, she can go to that committee within the same organization in that company. ठीक है. तो ये सब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट से आया है, वही विशाखा गाइडलाइन से. All these flow actually from here. Why I'm explaining? Because once you qualify MBA, once you do complete your MBA, you will go to any company and these things will be taught. POSH guidelines and all. POSH consultant भी होती है, the female psychiatrist and all. मतलब sometimes if a woman feels being harassed, she can go there and talk to her and all like that. ठीक है. तो ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. That is what you should be knowing. और ये मैंने देखा है PYQs में आते हुए. I think ZAT या TESTNET वगैरह कई बार पूछते थे विशाखा guidelines and all. So you should be knowing about it. ठीक है. Concept of collegium, ये इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना, बट आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि कॉलेजियम सिस्टम से अपॉइंटमेंट होता है हायर जुडिशरी में, इन हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट. सो द हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस, जस्ट यू नो, जजेस आर अपॉइंटेड बाय प्रेसिडेंट ऑन द एडवाइस ऑफ कॉलेजियम. ठीक है, बस इतना पता होना चाहिए. कॉलेजियम जो है ना, जजेस की ही मेंबर, देयर आर एक्चुअली सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस देयर. कॉलेजियम, आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन दैट डिटेल कि 5 मेंबर 3 मेंबर, इतना आपके काम का नहीं है, बट जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया that Supreme Court, senior Supreme Court judges recommend the appointment of High Court and Supreme Court judges, and the President finally appoints. ये लोग advise करते हैं collegium system से. ठीक है, just have an idea about it. Now the next question is, how many high courts are there in India? 24, 25, 27, 29. So there are 25 high courts. Just remember it is a fact. Say oldest high court कौन सा है? It is the oldest high court. So the answer is 1862 Calcutta High Court. 1862. B is the right answer. Which high court has the maximum number of jurisdiction? मतलब maximum number of states में वो covered है? कौन सा state है? कौन सा high court है? So the answer is actually Guwahati High Court in Assam. Guwahati is a place in Assam. So B is the right answer. So just have an idea about it. ठीक है. इसमें actually Assam states हैं और 2-3 और स्टेट कवर्ड है. आई थिंक अरुणाचल, मिजोरम, 2-3-4 स्टेट्स एक्चुअली इसके अंदर कवर्ड है. ठीक है. बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट में भी महाराष्ट्र है, गोवा है, और दादरा नगर हवेली, दमन एंड दीव यूनियन टेरिटरी. सो 3 का जुरिस्डिक्शन है. बट गुवाहाटी हाई कोर्ट, एज फार एज आई कुड रिमेंबर, 4 या 5 का जुरिस्डिक्शन है उनका. ठीक है. सो दैट इज व्हाट यू शुड नो. एनजैक एक चीज है, बट आई थिंक थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है, बट आई टेल यू दैट आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट कॉलेजियम सिस्टम अपॉइंट करती है, रिकमेंड करती है प्रेसिडेंट को अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ जजेस. बट 99th अमेंडमेंट में एनजैक को लाया गया था, नेशनल जुडिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट कमीशन, व्हिच वाज सपोज्ड टू एडवाइज प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया इन अपॉइंटिंग सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड हाई कोर्ट जजेस. लेकिन इसको जुडिशरी ने स्ट्राइक डाउन कर दिया था. So Supreme Court declared it invalid. But recently it was in the news because recently we have seen some amount of cash found in a Delhi High Court judge's house. उसके बाद NJAC was very much in the news. NJAC काफी ज़्यादा news में था. NJAC को we need to bring it again back and all. So these things were very much in the news. Hi, so this is all about today's class. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, press the like button, share this video.